Welcome back to another video introducing you to the library. In this one, we're going to go a little bit deeper into the catalog and try to develop some search strategies. I'm going to try to model how you might go through some search results. So in this example, let's say that I'm in a class on Christology, and my research question for my final paper, I've chosen to try to determine whether or not Anglicans have made any kind of unique contributions to the doctrine of Christ. Is there a specific type of Christology that Anglicanism favors? Does it have any unique contributions to that doctrine? So let's just try a search term. I'm going to try starting with Christology Anglican. A lot of searching a library catalog is just a matter of trial and error and trying to figure out the best search terms for your topic. So I typed in Christology Anglican. I got 485 results. Now that's kind of a lot. I could change my search terms a little bit, but one thing you can also do is use these filters up here, and one of my favorites is the source type. And I notice here that most of the results are actually book reviews, the reviews of books. And I don't really want to go through book reviews right now. I'm really looking mostly for journal articles, books, or ebooks. So I'm just going to go ahead and select academic journals, books, and ebooks. That way I'm limiting my search and not getting a bunch of results to go through that I don't really want. So you could try to go through these. 240 is still quite a bit, but let's just see what happens. This is about an ecumenical agreement. It might be interesting. This is on John Donne specifically. Another Anglican Communion ecumenical agreement. African Christology, that might, it could be interesting. Another one on the 2014 ecumenical statement. Same thing here. Oh, number 7. Current trends in Anglican Christology. That sounds kind of promising. Current, but it is from 1997, so if I use it, I'll definitely have to get some more recent research as well, but it could be a good start. And I'm also seeing, this is from the Anglican Theological Review, which is one of the flagship journals of Anglican theology. So it's probably pretty high quality. It's peer reviewed. That might be a good place to start. So I could click on this, go to straight to the Access PDF, but I'm also noticing on this article that the subject terms are interesting. I could use these as search terms and build a new search. That way I'm using the terms which this database uses to describe Christology, especially the history of it, as Jesus Christ's history of doctrines, and then I can use this Anglican term as well. And it looks like I need to add a space here. This search, it's pretty much the same thing I started with, but I'm using the search terms that the database was designed to be used with. And that's what the subject terms are really useful for. You can use these, you can click on them, you can copy them and then add them to your searches, and they'll just get you a little bit more refined. I also noticed this 8th one here is about Rowan Williams on Christology. So these 2 articles are interesting, and I could save these and then come back to them later that way. But let's try this search term. So I'll do search, and I got 151 results, and this is another, I didn't see this article before. It didn't come up when I did my first search, or at least not in the first 10 results. And this is about Richard Hooker. And I know that Richard Hooker was a kind of foundational Anglican figure, so this might be an interesting article. Also in another major Anglican journal, the Journal of Anglican Studies. So I know these are going to be relatively authoritative. They're going to have some good ideas, so I might save that one as well. I could also go down here and just see what else is coming up. There's that Rowan Williams article again. It's come up twice now. Another Rowan Williams, and again, the African Christology one from the Journal of Anglican Studies. So it might be interesting to go to. It might bring me in a direction that I wasn't expecting. And again, there's that current trends one. So at this point, I could, I've gotten a little bit more narrow. I could go down a little bit further. I could limit the results to more recent. I could make sure that they're peer-reviewed if that's what I wanted to do. I am doing books and ebooks, but I'm mostly finding journals right now. One thing I might do is let's just take a look at this one. And because it's just instantly pulls up here, I can read the abstract. It might give me an idea of where to go. I'm seeing keywords, Book of Common Prayer, that might nudge me to think of, oh, I wonder if, the Anglican Book of Common Prayer itself has been where the Anglicans have contributed to a doctrine of Christology. That might be an interesting research angle to go to in a moment. I can skim through here, look at the footnotes. I could go to the bottom and see if there is, this is a long article. I go to the bottom and see if there's a bibliography, but there's not, so it's just footnotes. 146, bravo to this author. He did his research. That's one way you can kind of find some things. The more you kind of look, skim, it can bring you into new directions. So I could add a new term based upon that new direction that I was going to. And, not quite sure if these are exactly what I'm looking for. They don't seem to be really on my topic. So I could try different terms. Christology, Jesus. This is going to be just Book of Common Prayer. So it really is a lot of trial and error. I haven't planned this out in advance. I'm doing this just along. But, that search that I just did, maybe I'll go back a couple pages. I did find, I could save 4 or 5 things, and you can go to your dashboard over here and click on your saved. And, well, here's the one I saved. I guess I must have unchecked the other ones. But if you check a bunch of ones, you can save them all here, and you can come back later and then download them all later. Or another strategy you can use is just do a lot of searching, save things that might be relevant, and then come back a few hours later, another day, another week, and then you can go back through that list and skim it and then narrow it down a little bit further to the ones that you actually want to then read. So that's one way of going through the library's catalog. Again, that was just an example off the top of my head. Your mileage may vary, of course, but a lot of it is just involved with how can I come up with some good search terms, and you can do that obviously by just starting to think of what comes to mind, but then you can also look at the search terms that are listed under each book and the subjects here, and that can give you some other ideas for terms to type in here. So if this is a helpful example, again, there's all sorts of filters to explore. You can sort different ways. You can use this dashboard where you can save the article, save the ebooks that you want to look at. But again, in all these cases, pretty much everything is just access now, access now, access now, access now. We have most of these materials available for you right away. Of course, there's lots of books that haven't been digitized, and in the next video, we'll talk a little bit more about how to get help with things like that.